Okay, so welcome everybody to the 2021 inaugural Amplifying Her Voice virtual summit. We are here in Mongolia today. We're so delighted to be with all of you. First day, we had 1,000, almost 1,400 participants the first day alone, 85 countries. So this is truly the most International Women's Day I've ever had, and hopefully this will be the beginning of more collaborations between all of us in the next few months coming forward. I'm so grateful to be connected to you through Dr. Jane Thomason, who brought us together and has been such a great support and a true embodiment of women investing in women. Can't thank you enough, Jane, for doing this. And when I said I want to go to Mongolia, we have to include Mongolia. She said, I know exactly where we're going and who we're going to bring on board, and we're here now. So it's only been a month. I mean, who would have imagined we'd be doing this now, right? And we did it after like such a big distance. So it's always been a dream of mine to go to Ulaanbaatar, and today I'm there with you. So we're gonna hear today about this amazing year that you've all had in successes and about your women's leadership program. Jane, if you want to say a few words, and then I'm going to turn it over to them, and they're going to have control of the whole program. And from what I understand, they're going to go into Mongolian at the end of the session. They'll do an English session, and then they're going to go into their local language.
Thank you, Anu. And we actually had a wonderful time with these women about 3 weeks ago. So I'm really proud of them for actually making this. And it's great to have them linked in with the international community. And it is a powerful day when you think about so many countries and so many women all around the world. And I'm so thrilled that we were able to include Mongolia. And the minute they open up flights to come, we'll be there to visit you. So good luck with today, and I'm looking forward to the beginning of the conversation, and then I'll have to leave you to go to another meeting. But thanks for getting on, and great to see you all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. First of all, again, happy International Women's Day. March 8 has been a big celebration for Mongolia for many years, not only just to highlight what women do here in Mongolia, but also share our experiences in different levels. Despite many people think that gender inequality and women's empowerment is non-issue in Mongolia, which I disagree, and therefore I think we still need to talk about it and work for it. So with the support from Australian government, we run this women's leadership program, and we've been running it for 7-8 years now, and have all these wonderful women have been, getting together, knowing each other and learning from each other. Because with my personal experience of living and working in Australia and having, someone like Jane Thomason to be the great role model, I see the benefit of, women supporting women, other women. And, with women leaders, I think the world will just be better and, a better place for our next generation and for our current generation. And it will be equal place, treating everyone fairly and honestly and with trust. And so with all these, amazing women we have here today, we will mostly be sharing our experience of what we had done in last 7-8 years, and how many people we've inspired, and how how we improved our society here in Mongolia. And with our examples and with our experience sharing, hopefully, we can influence many more, and we can contribute to the better world that is already in process and in progress. Again, thank you for Jane initiating and getting us in contact with Anno. And thank you, Anno, for being so prompt and so hardworking and working. Even when I first introduced Anno to Maral, I was thinking, I don't know where she lives, but obviously she works 24/7. Because every time I just put the message on, she was there to respond, just like Jay. When we worked together 10 years ago, I remember, is such a hardworking woman, day and night. And so you really, inspired me to work harder for the better place and, even return to Mongolia and be here for our women here. So with Women's Leadership Program, we not only train women for leadership skills, mainly in, of course, soft skills, where women apparently, stay behind men, including the confidence, which we seem to take it granted. But then when it comes to, practicing it for our society, for our workplace, and especially for our own, I think we stay behind. We never come, forward when we are asked to, and we push men for the higher position, and they make the decision for us. But with this Women's Leadership Program, I have received the feedback of, confidence level being increased and network being expanded, not only in Mongolia, but also with Australian, with our Australian counterparts and Australian stakeholders and Australian friends. And so it's helping us not only just to stay and work for ourselves, but also influence the society with our social impact projects for the communities, especially for those in need. And so among these 4 Mongolian women here, we will be sharing our personal experiences. And I think with this international conference, it's probably our door open to even broader community and globally as well. And so with this, I work with Derek Foundation, which is Mongolian NGO promoting democracy in Mongolia. And it's also led by woman Miss Oyun, who now works for Green Climate Fund in Korea as one of the directors there. And so she also inspires many women around the globe and also contribute greatly to the green development of our world, which probably is the next biggest agenda after women's empowerment and leadership. And so with this, I'm going to hand it over to Maral to moderate our speakers' sessions. And I think we are all happy to speak in English and share our experiences in different areas and different fields, since this is the language bring us globally and make us global. And also at the same time, I think it's also inspiration for many Mongolian women and young people to be global and to be recognized globally and operate globally. So happy to stay in English as long as we can. And thank you, Maral, for helping. And again, thank you, Anu, and thank you, Jane, for bringing us here.
Thank you. I'm gonna sign off now. It's all in your hands, and we're gonna share this recording once it's finished. We're recording this, and then once it's over, so you can all share it on your socials, and Jane will definitely share it on hers. And this will be a record of what we started here today, and hopefully build on over the next year. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anu, and thank you, Jane, for joining us and for organizing this wonderful event. Thank you, ATH, for the introduction. So on top of the trainings, the Women's Leadership Program, one of the integral parts of the Women's Leadership Program is its community development project component. And since its inception, the program has produced 24 of such projects. These community development projects, they help our participants to put their leadership capabilities and skills into use and help community along the way. So each year, we divide our participants into 4 teams of 5 and ask them to design and raise funds and implement a community oriented project within a short period of time of approximately 5 to 6 months. And I'm very proud to announce that thus far all of our teams have successfully implemented such projects. And as I said before, there are 24 of these projects addressing various issues in the communities, including children's and women's health, sustainable development, rural development, and inclusive education, to name a few. And these projects, they've impacted at least in approximation thousands of Mongolians, both in the cities and in rural areas, positively. And but most importantly, these community development projects, they showcase that change can happen from bottom up, and that women can be positive change makers in the communities as well. And today I'm extremely honored to have 4 of these wonderful and remarkable women change makers. Today we are joined by Ms. Tsitsiksahan, Ariona, Usukhaya, and Ichin Harwa, who represent each different cohorts of the program and who will share with you one by one their experiences with WLP, the Women's Leadership Program, their experiences of designing and implementing a community development project, and what they've taken back from this program and applied to their own professional careers. So with that, I'd like to invite our first speaker, Tsitsiksahan, to the virtual podium.
Thank you so much for introduction. So dear colleagues and friends, my name is Tsitsiksahan, and I am the director of the Medicine and Medical Device Regulatory Agency of Mongolia and founder of the National Cancer Council. So it's my great pleasure and honor to participate in this very important forum on women's leadership and social innovation, and share my experiences of being part of the Women's Leadership Program organized by Australia Awards Mongolia and Zurich Foundation. And thank you very much, organizers, for this great opportunity. And I always recall to the word of famous singer Madonna: no matter who you are, no matter what you did, or no matter where you have come from, you can always change and become a better version of yourself. These words always encourage me to change my life, strengthen my advantages, and correct the disadvantages. Therefore, I found involvement in Women's Leadership Program as an eye-opening experience, a chance to learn about myself, about others, and master myself. And I think first and very important thing was that the course helped me to think about self-awareness and personal goal settings. I understood that I need to know myself in depth, understand what drives me before managing and leading others. And it helped me to identify my abilities, competences, and weaknesses, and raise my self-confidence, which was a very important thing. And also, most importantly, this program helped me to define my lifetime goals. I realized that I still didn't have clear goals in my life and moved from one opportunity to another without thinking whether it's relevant to my future goals. And I understood that I have to have good balance in all important areas of my life, including career pathway, finance, family, physical condition. And at the end of self-reflection and continuous thinking and learning from guest speakers' experiences and mentors, I understood that I wanted to follow my heart and help and inspire other people to live healthy lives. And second thing from the course was it gave me the inspiration for changes, get out from my comfort zone and practice new experiences. And during Women's Leadership Program, I had a really stressful time at my workplace, and I even lost my job. And it was a really difficult time and to choose my life priority. But despite all these things, participation in this Women's Leadership Program, learning from other role models women's experiences, it all gave me the inspiration and strength to get out the comfort zone, overcome this difficult period, and start doing what I really want to do in my life, and without depending on others. And I tried new challenging, risky experiences, such as starting a new charity organization from scratch, raising awareness on cancer by shaving my hair and encouraging others to support cancer patients. And the third thing from this women's leadership course was it helped me to focus, to understand, appreciate differences among different team members. I realized that I have a tendency to be close with people like myself and exclude those who are different by creating distinctions. And I learned how to demonstrate and respect others, be sensitive to deal with other people's points of view. And moreover, it sharpened my ability to use differences among others and put yourself in others' shoes. And I think during this 6-month engagement in Women's Leadership Program and participation in Australia component for 2 weeks, it improved my leadership skills in motivating and inspiring other people, time management and self-confidence. And it helped to set clear goals, break down the goals into steps, and little by little it started to change my life and piling up to success. And I think I was really lucky to participate in Australia component and become the first cohort who went to Australia for Women's Leadership Program. And it gave me a really big opportunity to establish good connections with Australian professional organizations working on cancer control and prevention. And I think all skills obtained from Women's Leadership Program have helped the National Cancer Council, the charity organization I founded, to make meaningful impact on cancer control in Mongolia. For example, we were focusing on 2 issues. One was on cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is the second most prevalent cancer among women in our country, and vaccination program was not available. So through the continuous advocacy with numerous stakeholders and results from the research of Australian scientists, publication in international well-recognized journals has helped to convince the government to reintroduce HPV vaccination, which will save thousands of lives of many women in the future. And also our Cancer Council of Mongolia was selected as one of the 17 country champions on cancer by Union International for Cancer Control. And we worked as advocates to control, treat and prevent childhood cancer, which is one of the neglected cancer in Mongolia, under the mentorship of Cancer Council Australia. This partnership resulted in receiving a Mongolian government commitment to prioritize childhood cancer, which enabled Mongolia to become one of the pilot countries of WHO's global initiative on childhood cancer. And also we work to support cancer patients, and the accommodation program which is providing the comfortable place for cancer patients and their family members who had traveled to city from rural provinces, is really important program. As a result of proper planning, fundraising, networking and team working, we set up a Tara Lodge, which is the first accommodation facility for cancer patients and their families traveling from rural provinces to the city. And in the 2 years since it's commenced in January of 2019, Tara Lodge has more than 1,700 families and cancer patients, and thereby providing home-like comfort for more than 10,000 overnight stays. And also we started new project that provides new transportation project that provides free ride through the hospital for patients staying at the lodge, and also for the children with cancer. And during the last 6 years, we could establish collaboration with numerous organizations working on cancer control, become member of international society, and get grants from big organizations and support many patients suffering from cancer. And recently I was promoted to the new government position as a director of the Medicine and Medical Device Regulatory Agency. And I think it's the impact of Women's Leadership Program that I can't stay behind everything, as Enke mentioned. And this new agency will be focusing on providing quality medicines with affordable price to all people in Mongolia. And I think all these things were the impact of Women's Leadership Program, which gave us the hope and inspiration to become better version of yourself and help other women to be changed and inspire other women. So thank you very much.
Sharing your experiences, Stefan. Now, Ms. Aruna to share hers.
Thank you very much, Maral. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. My name is Aruna Chadrabal. I work for the National Emergency Management Agency of Mongolia as the head of Foreign Cooperation Division, and I'm really delighted to be taking part in this webinar with such an esteemed group of speakers and share my experience on women leadership program in Mongolia, and then also COVID-19 response in Mongolia, as well as women leadership in disaster management. As Tsitsiksa mentioned, we had a great time during this women leadership program in Mongolia. Participating in Women Leadership Program Cohort 1 was one of my favorite learning processes. I not only obtained very comprehensive knowledge and understanding on women leadership, but also many beautiful, knowledgeable, intelligent, and sweet ladies and girls surrounded me. So I learned a lot from them. My 8 months journey with the program ended very successfully. The main takeaway from the program was the self-confidence. Why it's important for me? Because as you see, I'm in a uniform and I work for a male-dominant organization. Before the program, I always felt very weak. Even I graduated from the Mongolian Defense University and got my master's degree from an international well-recognized university, the Australian National University. I prefer to stay humble, quiet, and like Enke said in the beginning, stay behind. And fortunately, the program helped me to build my self-confidence and break the glass ceiling. And after the program, I experienced many successful things in my life. Like I got promoted to colonels, and then I also promoted to the head of Foreign Cooperation Division, and many more. Now, I always try to encourage women staff in my organization through sending them to the capacity building events like trainings or workshops or seminars. And I also always try to engage women staff to any kinds of disaster management and disaster risk reduction activities, including like disaster prevention, rescue, response, and even in recovery activities. Now it is now an extraordinary time to be living through. And I believe COVID-19 is beyond anything that we experienced in our life. Also, this pandemic urges us or gives us an opportunity to think about again our way of living and change our behavior for everything. And the government of Mongolia, especially my organization, the National Emergency Management Agency of Mongolia, is trying our best to eliminate the pandemic as many other countries, and taking measures against the COVID-19, including the vaccination. And simultaneously, women are taking the lead in the pandemic response as frontline health workers here also. However, when we talk about disasters, the ones who are talking or making the decisions tend to be men. So also we all know and then acknowledge that women and girls are disproportionately affected by disasters because of the structural and gender inequalities and others. And as a result, we now have this increased loss of livelihoods, gender-based violence, and even loss of life during and in aftermath of disasters. Therefore, women's participation and leadership is obviously important in disaster management. And this cannot be successfully addressed by excluding women's effort. So women, we are often the caretakers, organizers, good managers, and drivers in our community. Therefore, we provide a very important contributions to building resilience in our community, even in our organization. So in addition, giving education to women and girls, like we participated in the Women Leadership Program, it is an entry point to engage girls and women in any kinds of social activities, including like disaster management and disaster reduction activities. But unfortunately, due to lack of physical skills, such as like ability to climb the trees or to swim, has been a major considering factor to disaster fatalities among women. For example, during the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004 in India, up to 3 times as many women as men died. And while in Indonesia, this figure rose up to 4 times the number of male casualties. While not all of this disparity is due to differences in physical skills, in cases where women had the ability to swim, the overall mortality rate was reduced by more than 60%. So therefore, it's vital teaching or learning women and girls to swim when it is not traditional to do that. Like in Mongolia. Mongolia is a landlocked country, so many of us don't have don't have the opportunity to learn to swim. But nowadays, it is kind of changing. So we are moving more positive sides on that. So also, women are often the first responders in disasters, like me, like participating or engaging all kinds of disaster management and disaster risk reduction activities. And our roles deserves visibility and support. Hence, our voices must be amplified in planning and decision making, and even in today's meeting or webinar. A stronger capability to effectively address gender issues in disaster management needs to be developed in my country, not only in my country, but in the whole world. Respecting local culture and mobilizing female volunteers to reach female beneficiaries, having equal male to female representation, the use of culturally appropriate facilities for discussions and privacy should be done. And moreover, collecting data on the age, gender, and diversity of the affected population during emergency needs assessment is important for providing the assistance and decision-making and even for the future disaster planning. As for me, I serve as a head of a technical working group on disaster-related statistics in Asia and the Pacific, and it gives me an opportunity to strengthen our capacity of disaster-related statistics and increase use of disaster data planning, data in planning and decision making. Also, it needs to ensure that relief assistance includes items like condoms or midwifery kits, and information that meet both men's and women's reproductive health needs, including protection against HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. Moreover, privacy and the safety of women and girls, as well as elders and people in special needs, must be considered. And all these activities need women's strong engagement and participation. Only the women and girls know our specific needs before, during, or after disaster. I'm here at the National Emergency Management Agency of Mongolia to fulfill all these needs or give my efforts for this decision-making and planning in disaster management in Mongolia. And in the end, I would like to say that it is also important to engage men as essential partners in promoting the valuable contributions and leadership of women. So let's create a gender balance enabling environment for city for women to tackle all these globally raised issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Arina, for touching upon such important issues. With that, I'm going to go on and invite Ms. Usukaya now, who represents cohort 3 of the Women's Leadership Program.
Thank you, Martha, for inviting me. Thank you for organizers of this event, and thank you for everyone who is watching. My name is Usukaya Sanjagal, and I currently work for the Ensuring Inclusiveness and Service Delivery for the Persons with the Disabilities Project. I'm from the Women's Leadership Program's 3rd cohort. So I would like to talk about my experience at the WLP. The Women's was one of my I've ever attended, and it gave me a chance to enhance and develop my leadership skills. Also, it was the boost of my confidence. So during the classroom trainings, such as systematic thinking, and team organization, and negotiation, we built up theoretical knowledge about the leadership skills, and based on this theoretical knowledge, we implemented projects by ourselves. Moreover, we also met and learned from leaders of different sectors like diplomacy, politics, and law enforcement. These women's insights helped me to review my vision again. Also, I participated in the women's leadership programs in Australia component. During this time, we visited many different non-governmental organizations to learn from their implementations. Most of them were non-governmental organizations who entrusted by the Australian government. And I would like to recall an incident that we visited to one of the organizations which serves for persons with disabilities, because it was an independent living center for persons with disabilities. It was a very memorable thing for me because I've never heard about such things before. So I was so delighted to visit that organization. Also, during the Women's Leadership Program, I spent many precious hours with my team members. We met almost every Friday at the coffee shop to review our implemented tasks and to plan next week's tasks. And we implemented a project called Safe Road to School at the school number 5 of the Ulaanbaatar city. The reason to implement this project was high rate of traffic accident among the school children. According to the statistics data provided by the traffic authority, almost 6,600 people involved in traffic accidents each year, and more than 70 school children dead by that car accidents. So it was a very critical issue in Ulaanbaatar. So we wanted to take action on this information. So we've chosen school number 5 because its position makes it very critical condition, because it has 3 main roads surrounded by the area. Initially we conducted the preliminary study about the environment from the 146 participants, including parents, pupils, and teachers. And the survey showed that some very critical information about one of the information was that all of the school children have to cross at least one road to go to the school or go back to home. The second was most of the children and parents assessed the environment of the school is dangerous, while all teachers assessed the school environment very dangerous. So we designed and implemented the project. Our project aim was to prevent school children from injuries and death caused by traffic accident, and to reduce traffic accident around the area. In order to achieve this goal, we've designed the 3 components in the project. The first component is to create a safe physical zone around the school. The second one is to train teachers, parents, and schools on on the traffic safety education. The third component is to initiate traffic safety campaign in the general public and the drivers. During this 3 months period, we've installed a traffic light in the front road of the school, and we've installed 43 pieces of traffic lights around the school zone, and we also established 600 meters of green establishment in the right and left side of the school. It was for the first component. Within the scope of the second component, we've conducted training for more than 200 parents, and we've conducted jointly with the Traffic Control Center for more than 900 pupils. And we also trained more than 40 teachers to sustain the traffic and safety education for children. Now, within the scope of the third component, we've started a Facebook page to publish information, video, and other stuffs. And we also worked cooperatively with the media, like TV channels and FM radios, to make interviews and air some important information on the traffic safety issues. During this project, we've raised more than 90 million to groups equivalent donations, including cash and in-kind donations. Our major donors were Australian government and Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency and other donors. They've helped us to make anything possible. Without their effort and contribution, we couldn't do anything. So I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep appreciation for all our donors for the project. And currently, I work for the ensuring inclusiveness and service delivery for the person with disability project. I think it's my opportunity to contribute back to my country, especially to the people in the sector of the person with disabilities. This project has 5 outputs. And the first output of the project is early intervention of children with disabilities, strengthened and institutionalized. The second output is service delivery for persons with disabilities, improved. Third is access to physical environment, improved. Fourth is work and employment for persons with disabilities, improved. And the fifth output is strategic development to support persons with disabilities, implemented. So this is how I learned from the Women's Leadership Program and how I try to contribute back to my society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Esqueda, for sharing your experiences. Community Development Project. And coming up, our last but not least, former participant who represents our cohort 6, who will also share her experiences with the Community Development Project. On to you, Chipapa.
Hi, everyone. So it's my pleasure to honor to participate in this event as a speaker from Mongolia. So my name is Jahala. You can call me like Ichka for short. So I'm a treasury manager at AP Johnson Company, which is one of the leading beverage company in Mongolia. So I did my master's degree in University of New South Wales in Sydney and majoring in international business management. So right after my finished uni in 2019, I attended Women's Leadership Program because at that time I'm looking for opportunity to develop my leadership skill. Also, I'm thinking of how to contribute Mongolian society through professional guided content. So I felt like I have lack of gender equality knowledge and also professional network. So it's seems too difficult to compete at the working environment in Mongolia. So that's why I'm participate in Women's Leadership Program. So I like the community development program. So it was very challenging. Our team did the Rural Women Empowerment Program, which is designed for women from 21 provinces. So the program is aimed to empower women who live and work in rural areas. So we hope that to strengthen the leadership skill on participation in the community, and to also ensure the better understanding gender knowledge. So the reason why we're choosing this program is in Mongolia, women are more educated than men, but in terms of like labor participation, this is less than a man. And the second reason is especially in countryside and rural area, the women's this is common to pay unequal pay. And last but not least, the many program in Mongolia, like organized by international organization, usually runs in cities, not designed for rural women. So that's why we choose this program. So initially we expected to invite 21 participants from rural areas to invite in Ulaanbaatar city to organize event, but unexpected circumstances, the coronavirus outbreak, we need to be changed the program. So team is considering to deliver the program via online training platform as option B. So the first challenge was have to be attract and advertise this program on online platform. So the team runs a page on Facebook as a Rural Women Empowerment Program. Then each team creates the posts every day, actively managing marketing process to increase the awareness and attract potential candidates. So through the page, we provide useful information regarding leadership, gender equality, statistics, including provincial issues. So also we made lots of video content to advertise our program, including what was the purpose of the program, why should the people need to participate this program, have to enroll this program. So at the end, there is 100 people apply this program. So it's more than 3 times higher than what we expected. So online program runs the 4 weeks. So the program is designed for women. So the first week was we were focusing on managing yourself. So we need to start from the people, self-awareness, career strategy, the emotional intelligence. The second week is more focusing on managing others. For example, leadership skills, team building, public speaking. And third week is for focus on managing small businesses, including how to make project management, budgeting, etc. So last week program is designed for how to making impact for the community. We invite inspirational women leaders from the Mongolia. So I feel like this 4 weeks program successfully launched, especially we're facing many limitations from COVID-19, order to prevent spread coronavirus, government prohibited public events, also imposed the travel restriction within the country. So we've finally reached our program and the purpose. So especially through this program, Women Leadership Program provided an opportunity to put into practice what we have learned this program. Not finishing this program, I'm also using these skills, trainings, experience, especially community development program. I use it still in my workplace. So last year, I implemented also one project in our company, which is awarded the best project of 2020. I also awarded the the best leadership in women in our group company. So yeah, this is the result how I did. Thank you for your attention. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaharla, for providing your experiences with the Community Development Project. And do we have any questions from the audience?
I have one question, just for example, from Ariona, that at the moment, of course, we are under really strict, regulation and rule of COVID-19, pandemic situation, and then somewhat locked down. But I hardly see any woman in the State Emergency Committee of Mongolia. Of course, the published, photos come with 10 men, and half of them are uniform and half of them are unmasked. So do you think that half of the societies need to be considered during their discussion and during their decision making, or are we still staying behind on bringing our contribution to the decision making for risk control, as well as perhaps on what's beyond the pandemic lockdown lifted?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, NKH, for the question. Actually, all prospective women are participating in the COVID-19 response, and then publicly you see only this men dominant, like a press conference, or you see how the men are acting during this COVID-19. But as I said before, that in the front line there are many women as a also, the State Emergency Commission, which regulates and coordinates all this COVID-19 response, it consists of the ministers of the cabinet of Mongolia, and then we all know that there are 4 female ministers in the cabinet. So all 4 ministers, they are giving their voices, and then they are participating in planning and decision-making process. But for the National Emergency Management Agency of Mongolia, we are also managing and coordinating this Emergency Operations Center under this State Emergency Commission. And then in this State Emergency Operations Center, there are many women staff, and then we are participating in all planning and developing the policies, regulations, and everything, and then also we are participating in the decision-making process. And then I strongly believe that the women staff in the Ministry of Health or Ministry of Welfare, they are also being engaged in this COVID-19 response. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. Thank you for the question. I've got a question for Ichihapa regarding the Rural Women's Leadership Program. And the question was, what were the lessons learned of running a program online for rural women, for provincial women? And for those who wish to replicate this program, this project in the future, what are your recommendations and advice?
Thank you for the question, Mara. So I think the biggest challenge was how to make effective management, communication with the participant with the online platform. So to enhance effective management and program improvements, I think team is asked to participate, experience comments after each session at a reflection session. And I think the feedback from the participant helped to ensure program effectiveness and quality of the program. Yeah, I think that the most important thing is have to be constructive engagement with participants during the program implementation. Yeah.
Were there any issues with the connection in internet connectivity?
Oh yeah, it happens, but I think that once we gives the instruction before the program, it will be solve the problem easily, even if it comes from the rural areas. It's gonna be not a big problem for them. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've got one more question for Sukhoy. Regarding her community project, what do you and are the teachers and parents continuing teaching their students about road safety?
Thank you, Maral, for your question. I think that parents and teachers are continuing their efforts to make safety of the school children to the school and back, because I think that during the sessions for the teachers and parents, they understood that how it is important to teach their children and how to show them the right way to educate their children by their examples. So I think it's the way they are continuing their effort. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And one last question from myself to Stefan. Mrs. Stefan, I was wondering how the Cancer Patient Center is operating in these unusual times, meaning with the COVID restrictions around. How were you able to sort of manage this risk and continue your service to the community?
Okay, thank you for the question. As you mentioned, it was really difficult and challenging time for the Cancer Council because it was kind of really new experience for us, and we were not prepared to have online fundraising, so think about different options of fundraising, because most of our activities is relied on fundraising and support and donation of other people. So we had time when our Tara Lodge was closed due to restrictions and COVID-19. But at the end, we managed, and we were following all rules on hygiene and safety of staff and people who are staying. And we managed to have fundraising events using some virtual events and trying to have rely on support of people who were donating previously, and trying to encourage them and explain them how we are spending the money they donated, how their support is really needed during this difficult and challenging time. So we finally managed it, and everything goes as normal. So the Tara Lodge is accommodating cancer patients. Our transportation project is still continuing. So everything is normal now.
So much, for this good news. It's an important issue, and we're glad that everything is running normally with the Tara Lodge. With that, I am aware of the time, and we need to wrap it up now. So for all of those who are just tuning in or viewing this, you can learn more about the program logging in by searching Australia Awards Mongolia website or by searching Zuri Foundation's website. And under the tabs of the programs, you will find more information on Women's Leadership Program. Thank you all for the speakers who joined us today. Thank you for sharing your takeaways, your lessons learned, and your experiences. Oh, we've got Arina there, your experiences with Women's Leadership Program. Thank you all, and with that, I'm ending this session.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Hopefully our voice
Thank
will
you.
reach too many, and we will all work together for the
Thank you
next.
so much.
Thank you all, girls.
Thank you.